Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Thursday, May the 8th. We're here to look at the new releases that have been published this week. And on Thursdays, we look at fantasy and science fiction. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. We do sprints every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons. Mary says, good morning. Happy Thursday. Sunny here in Virginia and going to be another gorgeous day. Thank you very much. Hope you where you are is likewise. Indeed. We hit 80 yesterday. We're going to hit 80 again. I think it's supposed to do that again for the next few days. Sometime next week, we're back in the 50s, but we are very warm for a while. So I'm glad to hear it's there too. Okay, fantasy and science fiction. A Letter from the Lonesome Shore by Sylvie Cathrall. This is a conclusion to a duology. Former correspondents E and Henry, accustomed to loving each other from afar, did not anticipate continuing their courtship in an enigmatic drinking game right off the bat. Underwater City. When their journey through the structure in E's garden strands them in a peculiar society preoccupied with the pleasures and perils of knowledge, E and Henry come to accept, and more surprisingly still embrace, the fact that they may never return home. A year and a half later, Sophie and Viren finally discover one of the elusive entries that will help them seek their siblings. As the group's efforts bring them closer to E and Henry, an ancient cosmic threat also draws near. That is quite the artwork on the cover. His face is the sun, first in the throne of Katera. We are perhaps thinking. And off we go into the wild blue yonder. Indeed. Gird your loins, brace yourself. Here we go. Princess, priestess, rebel, thief. Tensions run as hot as the Khamsin winds in the great kingdom of Katara. Rumors of the pharaoh's mysterious illness abound, and with them murmurs of rebellion grow. Meanwhile, in the quiet desert, a forgotten oracle begins to unfold, setting a dark prophecy into action and drawing together 4 strangers. Princess Sita lives in the abundance of the palace, and in a moment of passion she unmasks a betrayal that will put her life and the entire court in grave danger. A priestess in training, Neff strives to understand her intense visions from the gods, except theirs is not the only magic at play in the Grand Temple. As a farmer's daughter, Ray knows how much the pharaoh's men have taken from her land, her people, still who will step forward to confront the king. Karam was raised among the pyramids of the Redlands and survives on the wealth of the dead as a tomb robber, but amid the spoils an ancient evil awakens. Bloodshed is coming, only together do these 4 have the potential to save the kingdom from destruction. But when the dust has settled, who will sit on the throne of Katara? Modern Divination by Isa Agajanian. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? And Mary says, nice to see you. Hello. The color of magic was gold. 23-year-old witch Aurelia Schwartz has always had to carefully balance her human life with her secret magical one. With a place at an elite Cambridge University college, she almost has everything she could possibly want within her grasp, just so long as she follows the rules. Make no promises, tell no one what you are, and never stay the night. Except Aurelia's gift of green magic has begun to fade. Worse still, someone is hunting witches and stealing their powers. Reluctantly, Aurelia needs the help of fellow witch and dreadfully arrogant classmate Theodore Ingram. Together, they seek refuge among his family in the remote corners of an already desolate town. But as she grows closer to Theodore, the power-hungry witch killer too draws nearer, and they threaten to destroy everything Aurelia holds dear. And Elena says she is good. And nice to see you too. Did you go to the book sale last weekend, Elena? Did you have good luck? Overgrowth by Mira Grant. This is just a story. It can't hurt you anymore. Since she was 3 years old, Anastasia Miller has been telling anyone who would listen that she's an alien disguised as a human being and that the armada that left her on Earth is coming for her. Since she was three years old, no one has believed her. Now, with an alien signal from the stars being broadcast around the world, humanity is finally starting to realize that it's been already warned, and it may be too late. The invasion is coming. Stasia's biological family is on the way to bring her home, and very few family reunions are willing to cross the gulf of space just for one misplaced child. What happens when you know what's coming and just refuse to listen? End of row 1. Silver Elite by Danny Francis. Trust no one. Wren Darlington has spent her whole life in hiding, honing her psychic abilities and aiding the rebel uprising in small ways. On the continent, being modified means certain death, and Wren is one of the most powerful mods in existence. When one careless mistake places her in the hands of the enemy and she's forced to join their most elite training program, she's finally handed the perfect opportunity to strike a devastating blow from inside their ranks. Lie to everyone, but training for Silver Block can be deadly, especially when you're harboring dangerous secrets and living to close quarters with everyone who wants you dead. And whatever you do, don't fall for your greatest enemy. As the stakes grow ever higher, Wren must prove herself to Silver Block. But that's easier said than done when your commanding officer is the ruthless and infuriatingly irresistible Cross Redden, who doesn't miss anything when it comes to her. And as war rages between mods like her and those who aim to destroy them, Wren must decide just how far she's willing to go to protect herself and how much of the continent is worth saving. Sounds like they've taken some inspiration from Iron Flame. No, Fourth Wing. Yeah. The Adventures of Mary Darling by Pat Murphy. Good afternoon, Helen. Hope your day's been going good. Now, this is one of those cross genres that could go pretty much in any one of them, but this one had a paranormal element to it, if I remember right, a magical element to it. Mary Darling is a pretty wife whose boring husband is befuddled by her independent ways. But one fateful night, Mary becomes the distraught mother whose 3 children have gone missing from their beds. After her well-meaning Uncle John Watson contacts the greatest detective of his era, but not that great, Mary is Sherlock Holmes' prime suspect in her children's disappearance. To save her family, Mary must escape and attempt to have her locked away as mad and to travel halfway around the world. Along the way, her allies include a Solomon Islander whose village was destroyed by Western civilization, a Malagasy woman on an island that is run by women, Captain Hook, and the crew of the Jolly Roger, and of course, Nana, the faithful dog and nursemaid. So this is a fairy tale retelling. Fairy tale? Not really a fairy tale. Peter Pan. The Enemy's Daughter. At least they're looking at each other. By Melissa Poet. Mary says, "We'll miss tomorrow taking my car in for maintenance. Routine checkup, but I always hold my breath with what I could find." True, because it could be expensive. My Subaru is a great car, brown in color, named Hershey. Ah, I love it. And hi, Helen. Hope you're doing great. Well, good luck tomorrow. Yes, real life has to happen. It's been 37 years since the Republic was destroyed. Now, two settlements, the five clans and the Kingsland, fight for control of the untainted land. Though the five clans are outnumbered, they finally struck, killing Kingland's brutal leader. In the war that follows, Isadora, an 18-year-old healer, risks her life to help injured soldiers, but when she stops an attack from Tristan, a Kingsland assassin, his soldiers shoot her with a poisoned arrow. As Isadora lies dying, Tristan does the unthinkable. He offers to save her life using a rare magic. In choosing to live, Isadora is unknowingly bound to the mysterious Tristan. Worse, even acknowledging the attraction between them allows them to glean fragments of her memories and the very knowledge he needs to destroy the five clans. But their magical connection works both ways. So to save her people, Isadora will have to open her heart to her most cunning enemy, because in a race for ultimate survival, she'll need to destroy Tristan and his people first. Glittering Edge by Alyssa Valere. Rumors are the lifeblood of Idlewood, Indiana. The locals whisper that the DeLucas are witches, and that decades prior they cursed the wealthy Berrien family as revenge for a love gone tragically wrong. Now, if a Berrien falls in love with you, you'll die. If this isn't reason enough for Wallflower Penny Emberly to stay away from both families, she doesn't know what is. But when Penny's mom is in an accident that leaves her on the brink of death, Penny can't ignore the rumors anymore, because the Berrien curse is real, and her mom is its latest victim. In order to save her mom's life, Penny must bring together two bitter enemies on either side of the feud and work with them to break the curse. For star quarterback Corey Berrien, doing so would mean finally saving his family from the magic that killed his mom. And for misfit witch Alonso DeLuca, it would mean convincing everyone in Idlewood, especially Penny, that he isn't the villain they believe him to be. But as the trio navigate Alonso's unpredictable magic, the tangled web of Berrien DeLuca history, and an increasingly chaotic group chat, it soon becomes clear that the curse is not what they expected. Did a DeLuca really curse the Berriens in a fit of jealousy, or is something even more sinister afoot? Penny will have to conquer her anxiety, wrestle with her budding feelings for Alonso, and delve into dangerous forbidden magic to find the truth and save her mom, even if it means putting her own life at risk. End of row 2. The Invisible Wild. Woo! Up close and personal. Let go! Hold on. No. Fine, we'll go here. We're having technical difficulties. There we go. Woo! The Invisible Wild by Nikki Vandekar. This is steeped in Hawaiian lore. According to legend, when the Kanaka Oiwi sailed over 2,000 miles across untraveled seas to the most remote island chain in the world, they encountered another people living there. They were 2 to 3 feet tall, squat and strong, good and kind, and bothered no one without cause. They were the Menehune. When the Hawaiians came, the Menehune chieftains feared the changes they brought. So, on the night of a full moon, they called all men and their firstborn sons and ordered them to leave Hawaii. Some refused and instead hid behind to remain with their families. In the early 1800s, Kauai chief Kaumauali took a census of his people, and 65 of his 2,000 subjects were all that remained of the original people of Hawaii. Flash forward to today, 16-year-old Emma is out running errands when she comes across a boy from Hilo living in the woods saying things that do not make sense. It's here, in these woods, that Emma has memories of finding a space between the worlds as a child. She soon realizes this boy has accessed the place she lost, as well as the people, the Menehune. She helps them hide until whatever spell has been cast over him is broken. Together, Emma and the Hilo boy have to figure out what the Menehune want before it's too late to save the only home any of them have known. Only stumbled really on one of them, one of the words. That one had too many vowels. I got lost. Daughter of Tides by Kit Roca. Stubborn. Yes. Alexei, the charming and charismatic god of love, is dying, but nothing can stop the lover from completing his final quest, a dangerous diplomatic visit to a former adversary. Setting sail for a mystical kingdom of ice, Alexei is joined by Einar the Kraken, infamous pirate lord, and Naya, a sweet young water nymph. Intoxicated by the pair's electric connection, Alexei vows to enjoy his last days by playing matchmaker, pushing away his own desires for the sake of theirs. But he's unexpectedly caught up in a raging game of seduction. As the trio navigates turbulent seas and the political perils of the Ice Queen's court, dark secrets reveal clues to one's tragic past and another epic destiny. Alexei's powers spin out of control while love and lust run wild. When enemies emerge from the shadows, the lover is forced to make a choice. Will he give away his heart to save all that he holds dear? Nalini Singh has a new one. Archangel's Ascension, 17th in the Guild Hunter series. Aiden and Illumia, 80 and Blue, Sparkle and Bluebell. Friends become lovers, their future a wild unknown. Finally reunited in New York, they must now learn to navigate the monumental shift in their relationship. But for these two members of Archangel Raphael's legendary Seven, there is no time to rest. As they investigate a case for the tower that echoes the darkness from Aiden's past, they will be forced to confront not only the scars that mark them both, but the promise of a vast power that flickers in Ilium. Sorry. The threat of ascension has haunted and troubled Aiden's Blue for too long. The forces of change immutable and without mercy, and uncaring of Ilium's fierce wish to remain part of the Seven. Change is a constant in an immortal's life, and this new horizon will bring with it both terrible heartbreak and a joy extraordinary enough to reverberate through time. I don't think I've had enough coffee yet today. Goodness. Hive by D.L. Orton, first in Matters of Time. Oh, matters. I love that. Mary, I was impressed with your pronunciation. I look at words like that and my tongue ties into knots. I just scream and leap. I just go right in there. For Isabel, a dying scientist, and Diego, the man she loves, time is running out. Literally, the Earth is ravaged and the biodome that was meant to save humanity is failing. But when Isabel stumbles upon a long-lost time bridge, the possibility of changing the past emerges, offering one final chance to rewrite history. There's just one problem. Only one person can make the journey. As they grapple with the weight of impossible choices, love and regret, Isabel and Diego must decide whether altering the course of time is worth the risk. Will their sacrifice save the future, or will tampering with the past ensure humanity's extinction? End of that row. Yeah. Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. The gods sent monsters to the five kingdoms to remind mortals they must kneel. I've spent my life kneeling to their will and to my father's. As a princess, my only duty is to wear the crown and obey the king. I was never meant to rule, never meant to fight, and I was never supposed to be the daughter who sealed an ancient treaty with her own blood. But that changed the fateful day I stepped into my father's throne room, the day a legendary monster hunter sailed to our shores, the day a prince ruined my life. Now I'm crossing treacherous lands beside a warrior who despises me as much as I despise him, bound to a future I didn't choose and a husband I barely know. Everyone wants me to be something I'm not, a queen, a spy, a sacrifice. But what if I refuse the role chosen for me? What if I made my own rules? What if there's power in being underestimated? And what if, for the first time, I reached for it? You do you, girl. The First Peacemaker by J.N. Chaney and Terry Maggart and Aaron Bunce. Deep inside Antarctica lies a mystery, the forgotten pathway to the stars. Rejected scientist Alexander Hawk is down to his last chance. Brilliant but sheltered, every banker in New York has refused to finance his ideas. Enter the Russian, charming, dangerous, and offering an Antarctic expedition that promises answers to all of his questions. Now Alexander stands at the edge of a bottomless chasm. With a helpful shove from his foreign benefactor, he plunges into adventure. Landing in darkness, Alexander finds a portal to destiny, weirder than New York, colder than Russia, and filled with the ruins of an empire that once spanned the galaxy. Armed with his wits, he'll set forth on the journey of a lifetime, recruited by aliens for a civil war in which the good side is bad, the bad side is good, and somehow Alexander ends up square in the middle. And his only way home is to save the world. I love that, armed with his wits. It's another one. Stand back. I'm armed with my wits. I'm not afraid to use it. First Ascent by Douglas Phillips. First in Ascending Carbon series. We're going to have to zip through here. Orbits in ruin, a tether into space, but how much is a lie? I don't know. Star Wars one. Star Wars, The Acolyte, Wayseeker. Decades before Star Wars, the Acolyte Vernestra Rowe must rediscover her place within the Jedi Order. And the last one, Archangel by Rick Partlow, first in Archangel series, a new military sci-fi series. They pissed off the wrong soldier. All right. That is the science fiction and fantasy that we have for today. When in doubt, whip out your wit. Whip out your wit. Here's my wit. Mary says, thanks so much. Hope you all have a great day. Good luck tomorrow and have a great weekend. Absolutely. You too. You have a great weekend. And getting your car in shape for the next few months is a good idea. And hopefully they don't find anything other than just tuning it up. I do have sprints tonight. They start at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. Tomorrow is Freeform Friday. We'll look at the rest of the Cozy Mysteries, and there might be one or two of the others that catch my attention. I haven't looked yet. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.